Hello everyone, it is me. I am back with another video, and it's been about a year since I last did a tour of my Dungeons & Dragons journal, so I figured it's about time I give you all an update, cause we've been playing and this bad boy has gotten thick. So I want to show y'all what we've been getting up to, but before I do, look at this campfire that I made. Look at how freaking cute that is. I've been bringing it to sessions and we've been putting it like in the center of the table for ambiance. It is flaking, it is not surviving. And on the topic of D&D themed crafts, I want to insert some footage of this dice tower that I made for my friend for Christmas. I've already given it to them, so it's fine if they see this video. And that dice tower was blessed. Or cursed. We went with blessed because my friend is the one DMing. Ever since I gave them that dice tower, they've been rolling 20s. I also want to show you all the dice that I've been playing with. This is my current assortment. It's like 4 sets mashed together. I love it. It matches my character and they're just so shiny and beautiful and I just want to... Now, let's get all this out of the way and get into the actual tour. So I still have my little death save counter charm thing that I made. So far, I haven't actually used it for any death saves because I haven't needed to, but this thing has fallen apart every single session and I have to remake it every single time, but it's surviving at the moment. Then getting into the actual book. Another thing that has fallen apart over time is this necklace. It's just in there for decoration, but this had like 5 stars on it when I made it, and we're down to 2 and a little clip-on star charm that I made. It's looking a little worse for wear, but it's still hanging in there. Not much in the inventory has changed. We've still got our little Swiss cheese mace, our shiny battle axe, a little health potion, and some money. Then we have my boy Matic, and for those of you who don't know him already, he's a half-orc, he's a barbarian, and he is chaotic good. We've moved on to a different campaign now, but I decided to stick with Matic because you'll find out later. I made another character, didn't vibe with him, so I came back to Old Trusty. And since it's a new campaign, we all like upgraded to level 4. I don't know what level he was on before. For anyone new to this channel, I've been playing D&D for a year and I still have no clue what I'm doing, so if something's wrong in here, don't judge. But here are his stats. He is currently a fucking tank. I made him a profile on D&D Beyond, and when I was upgrading him to level 4, it was like, here, have some extra points, you can put them into whatever you want. And knowing that Matic was already incredibly strong and not very intelligent, I decided to put all of the new points into strength and constitution. He's strong but stupid, and that's exactly the way he was meant to be. And this boy has 64 hit points. Like, Jesus Christ. I don't know if that's a lot, but it sounds like a lot. Then this is just my little like dice chart in case I get confused and I need to reference it. In here, I just have a bunch of scrap paper. Then I'll probably go pretty quickly through this part because this was our first campaign that we did. We never ended up finishing it, but it was fun. And I went into more detail in my first Dungeons & Dragons journal video, so you can watch that one back if you want. So we started this one the 2nd of October 2022, and I just journaled what we got up to in each session. Unfortunately, everyone kind of got busy around the end of the year and this campaign just petered out, but that's okay because it was still fun. The next section is our most current campaign, but I am going to flip forward just to keep this in chronological order. Between this campaign and the next one, we did have a couple of one-off sessions where I created a new character. Not gonna lie, I low-key hated him. Don't get me wrong, he's cute, he's a beast hide shifter, he's a barbarian, he's a criminal, and he's chaotic neutral. His name is Teddy and he transforms into a bear. So he's not a bad character by any means, but I just really wasn't vibing with him, and I was honestly really struggling to like come up with what he would do. Like every time it was my turn, I was just like, I don't know. And I think because I still consider myself a beginner, even though I went easy with barbarian, going for a beast hide shifter was probably a little bit too much too quick. This is just his backpack and everything that's in it. So I just printed out this section from the player's handbook just to help me out during the game, and then a little bit more information on shifters. This, I understand. This is where I was getting lost. So I definitely think just regular old barbarians are the way to go for me at the moment. And I don't even think I took notes on anything that happened during that campaign. That's how little I was vibing with it. So unfortunately, Teddy didn't work out. So I decided that if we were going to pick up D&D again, I would be playing as Matic. So now, moving on to our most current session, we're doing like a haunted mansion type deal. I'm pretty sure it's still Call of the Netherdeep. We've just restarted, but we're in like a different I don't know, okay? I'm trying to explain something that I have no knowledge about. All I know is that the rival party from our first session are in this one, so I'm pretty sure it's the same story, but we're doing different things and it doesn't feel like the same story. It's fine, okay. My friend got this kid's like picture book that has this like haunted mansion and all these like cool illustrations of this haunted mansion and all the different rooms and levels. So we've just been making our way through that and it has been really fun. I've been really enjoying it. I painted the haunted mansion and then just did a little summary of what we got up to each session, and all my friends are playing new characters, so this just summarizes how they met. Matic was checking himself out in a carnival mirror when they met, so that's why he looks like a Dorito. And they're currently competing for the prize, which is the Jewel of Three Prayers. So I drew it down the bottom. We encountered some imps. We dusted them off. No problems there. Then as we were making our way through the haunted mansion, we came to 3 doors with 3 different symbols. And we chose this one because it to us resembled the Jewel of Three Prayers, so it ended up being the right one. We were happy with that. It brought us through to a graveyard where we encountered some undeads. We managed to get around them, but Matic booked it and fell into an open grave. Could have been awful, but when he was in there, he heard like a coming from this crawl space in the grave, and he went through it not knowing what was on the other side to find there was a full catacomb filled with sentient skeletons having a dance party in there. Meanwhile, everyone else in the party is like fighting for their lives, trying to make it onto the next area, and Matic is just like fucking boogieing with the skeletons underground. When it comes time for him to catch up with his friends, he just goes through the fire exit and it leads him out to exactly where his friends are. I love that for him. And then this session got left on a little bit of a cliffhanger because we accidentally opened a sarcophagus that had a dragon wormling in it. So that was an exciting point to end it on. That was a really good session. I enjoyed it. Then we picked up a couple weeks later. We had a couple more friends join in this week. So after we fought the dragon wormling and found out that it was just a baby, we befriended it and then had a look into the sarcophagus, and our 2 other friends were asleep in there. They had been kidnapped by the dragon wormling and they were just honk shoeing in there. So then they joined in and we went from there. We also met up with the rival party at this point, got to know them a little bit, and this is a drawing of my friend's character Skiff talking to one of the rival party members, Irvin, while Matic is just snoring like a chainsaw in the background. And their conversation in a nutshell was, I'm mysterious and edgy. I'm mysteriouser and also edgier. Then after getting to know them, we decided to ditch them and move on to the next area. This is Matic's finisher. We went through this hedge maze and made it to the center, no problems, but then 3 more bounders emerged from the bushes and we had to fight them. A couple people got slashed, but Matic, being a fucking tank, teamed up with Skiff, who is also a half-orc, and Zephyr, who is a dragonborn, and they just absolutely demolished them. They were pulling wrestling moves. Matic had the Moorbounder in a grapple for like 3 rounds. This boy is so strong and I was rolling good, so it was great. And a lot of the time I straight up just forget that Matic has weapons because my go-to is to just use his brute strength, because when your strength is 20, why not just use your bare hands? So that was our most recent session, the 7th of December, and we're gonna pick it back up in the new year. I think everyone is really enjoying this campaign so far. I know I am, so it'll be good to see where it takes us. Then over here, if you are one of my friends and you're part of this campaign and you're watching this, click off. There's the door. Get out, because this is the secret sealed section. This contains pieces of Maddox's backstory that only me and the DM know. So if you ain't the DM, get gone. A little bit of backstory on the backstory. When I first made Maddox, it gave me the option to choose like another language for him to be proficient in, and me, being a beginner, just picked whichever one I thought sounded cool. So I picked Celestial. After playing as Maddox for a while and realizing that his personality is literally just big, strong, dumb, purple man, I was like, how the hell does this dumbass know Celestial, which is essentially like the language of the gods? How is he fluent in that? The DM and I started brainstorming, and we decided that obviously he is a half-orc. This is his dad, Mikhail. We love him. He's beautiful. The other half doesn't necessarily have to be human. The other half could be celestial. So we worked together on this little backstory. You can pause to read it if you want, if you can understand my handwriting. Maddox's father is a full orc and his mother is Empyrean. Maddox never met his mother, so he doesn't know. He just thinks that he's a regular half-orc. And everyone else in the campaign thinks that he's a regular half-orc. He's known for using his brute strength, his fists, and he's not that intelligent. So everyone is none the wiser. But the Dungeon Master and I have plans down the line to have this big reveal where Maddox discovers his celestial powers. Maybe Maddox gets hit with like a huge blast of radiant damage or something that should very obviously kill him instantly, and somehow he survives because he's half Empyrean. So this is his mum. Her name is Astrid. She is chaotic good and she's 7 foot tall. She is short for an Empyrean, but I wanted her to be shorter than Mikhail, who is tall for an orc. He's 8'3", and he is neutral good. He's quiet, calm, curious, introverted, responsible, patient, kind, cheerful, thoughtful, and independent. He's the sort who grew up in like an aggressive orc clan, decided, this ain't for me, and then he literally went out to live the cottagecore dream. He lives out in the middle of nowhere, farming, foraging, doing his thing. I love him very much. So I printed this little drawing that I did of him, and on the back are his stats. I don't know if we're ever going to need them, but I thought it was good to have them on hand just in case it ever comes up. And then in here, this is blank so far, but I want to put like Maddox baby pictures on here and just tuck it in there. It's like Mikhail's wallet. So that's where Maddox grew up, on this little like farm, cottagecore, self-sufficient environment. And then we have Astrid. She's outgoing, protective, loving, fun, spontaneous, confident, lively, loyal, and optimistic. She grew up in the higher plane amongst her fellow Empyreans and always wondered what life was like in the mortal plane. So she's one of these rebels who ducks down to the mortal plane every now and then. She meets Mikhail. They get along great. One thing leads to another. Maddox is born, but she decides that it is safer for everyone if she returns to the higher plane, because her fellow Empyreans, if they find out about Maddox, this half-orc, half-Empyrean, he's gonna be in a hell of a lot of trouble. So she decides when Maddox is a baby that it is much safer for everyone if she returns to the higher plane to keep an eye on things, make sure that he doesn't get found out, and just let Mikhail raise Maddox as a regular half-orc. And she has the same necklace as Maddox because I feel like she gives it to him. And then on the back we have all of her stats, and she, oh my god, you thought that Maddox got his strength from the orc side? Have you seen the stats on Empyreans? Girl has 313 hit points, like, goddamn. And then this is a little spell card that I made. I cut this vinyl out on my Cricut and stuck it all together, and I think it looks so cute. It took me freaking 2 hours, so this is the only one that we're getting, but this is a spell that the DM and I agreed to give Maddox, just so that he has like a tiny bit of inherited magic without it being too much for me to deal with as someone who has no clue how spells work. And then I've just got a spare card on the back. It's blank just in case I pick up any other spells down the line. Who knows? And then to be certain that no one would accidentally read it who's not supposed to, I put the holes on this side so that when you put it in, you can't accidentally get into it. Then there's just a couple of blank sections, the discarded teddy section, some blank paper, and then this is something else that I made, which is a little hard to get out because of how thick the book is getting. But this has been so freaking handy as someone who doesn't like to bring too much to sessions. Like, I know this is a lot, but it's nice that it's all compact into one book. This is a little pop-up dice tray that I made. Because it lives folded up, it doesn't always lay flat. But you know, I usually just put something heavy on the sides. And then you have a little dice tray, and your dice don't go everywhere. And I don't have to worry about trying to fit a gigantic box in my bag. Then bam, it's all there. And then I usually just put like whatever dice I'm using in this bag and hook it around there, close it up, and you're ready to go. Before I go, we've still got one envelope to look through. This one has all of my session notes in it, and it also has a printed out version of Maddox's character sheet. I used to just unclip the page that I need and then move it to here, but as you saw, because it's so thick, it's really hard to like open and close it when you're at the end of the book. So the past couple of sessions, I just put my character sheet here and then take notes over here. It's been working great. You can really tell when I've been loving a session when I take pages and pages of notes. This was our most recent session. I ended up with 4 pages worth of notes, and then the one before it, I ended up with 5 pages worth of notes. Put all my notes back in there, and that is the state of my journal right now. I figured now was a good time to show you just because not only is it the end of the year, but also it is getting so thick that I think I might have to get another one soon, especially because I like to like do these storybook type pages to summarize our sessions, and I don't think I can fit many more in here. We'll see how we go, but do let me know in the comments if I start another journal, would you like to see the setup in a video? I could also potentially do a video on like how I take notes and what I do after each session to like fill out my journal. I don't know. Let me know if any of that's interesting and we may see it in the future. But for now, thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!